to the true greats, the top three. Murray was able to, I mean, he's been in, I believe 11 Grand Slam finals. I hadn't even seen Fucsovics play. He's been around 6 years. The guy won Junior Wimbledon. He's made runs in the other ones. He lost the sock in Junior Open. I saw he was in the semis here. It just shows you the gap when you have to break from the juniors and go into the pros. It's taken him this long to make any type of run.
And he's 25 years old. It's not like he's 18 or 19, so he's been around a while, and this is by far the most successful event for him. He's from Hungary.
I mean, he's lost in the qualies a bunch of times in the majors. I saw a team, Dominic, who's going to go out at about 4 o'clock on another court. He used to train with him years ago. I mean, this guy's a talented young man.
What about the playing? Because you had this going for you in your career, John, when people would play against you, they say, oh, geez, I got John. Now let me make my reservation out. How does a guy 25 and he's playing here in a match like this, looking for a spot in the final 8, how does he react to playing this legend?
Well, there's no real way of preparing. He's never been there in this type of situation. When he played Query in the second round, the heat was brutal. I think the Heat beat Sam as much as this guy that's playing Federer now. I mean, I would, if I were him, I'd make sure that I broke a real sweat, that I take an extra time on the practice court, because he's be so uptight that he's going to quite possibly, probably give away games and breaks early in the match. This is where all that you've done in the past, all that Rogers accomplished, you walk out in the court and you're up a break.
Federer is the #2 player in the world now. As we said, he won here last year in a dramatic final match with Rafa Nadal. He also wins the Great Wimbledon Championships. Meanwhile, Rafa Nadal comes through, wins and both the French and US Open. Going away at the Open, by the way, on a hard court.
I mean, if you're 80, 90 in the world and you're out in this situation, do you try to play within yourself?
No.
Or do you just immediately start to take chances, go out of your comfort zone? I wouldn't come right out and start doing that. The odds of success there are minimal. Try to get your feet wet. Try to be able to relax a little bit before you start maybe going to something that you're not really comfortable with. I mean, the guy clearly is someone who's not going to be comfortable moving forward. A grinder, a journeyman.
About surfaces here, because you have played on this surface. You played the US Open, obviously their championship court there, Arthur Ashe Stadium. Is this quicker? Is it slower? Is it about the same?
Starting last year, it's as quick as I've ever seen it down here. No question. US Open, it's been quicker too. That is played right into Federer's hands. He's been able to take the ball on earlier. It hasn't jumped up as high in him as it would, say, at Indian Wells, where the ball kicks up above his shoulders, drives him crazy. Timing's been impeccable. Backhand's this guy's best shot. He just wants to get on the board. Get some respect. The fans want to see him put on a good showing, not beat Federer, but just, make it respectable. The gap between guys 100 to 400 is smaller than it's ever been. So the depth in the game as you get down to the lower ranked players that are straight in the tournament, to the qualifiers, and then the satellite and minor league players, it's not as big as you think.
Well, how come it's always the same 3 or 4 people in every event?
It's the ranking system that I believe needs to be changed. It helps the guys that are sort of around that area. They mix it up. You know, you'll see guys drop to 200, 250. They go play some minor league tournaments, get some points to get back up.
One game on.
It's like a rat in a cage. You know, it seems to be more or less a lot of the same players. I think they have to open things up with the ranking system to allow more players the opportunity to make a breakthrough. It takes a lot of money, you know, a lot of tournaments.
But they have all of these tournaments under the ATP Tour that they can play in and get points at. There are opportunities for them to get points.
There's not a lot of points at these, you know, it's like a baseball equivalent of AAA, AA.
Challenger event.
As soon as you get below AAA, points are minimal. Money is very poor. A lot of guys can't afford to do that more than a couple weeks, you know, make a living. They've got to be able to make it to the bigger events, pay the bills.
Let. Second service.
That's why you see a lot of guys that don't default at these majors if they get in. For this guy, Fucsovics, you know, he's in the 4th round, but for the 1st round, that's the biggest paycheck of the year for him.
He's going to about to double the amount of money he's made in his entire career here in Australia.
What's the 4th round? It's like, what 160 or?
More than that.
Yeah.
Fifteen, 30.
25-year-old from Budapest. That's where he lives now.
Got the Federer team there. That box is always full. So Dimitrov last night, he's got a coach and trainer. That's it, 2 people. Believes in less is more. It's a family affair with Roger Federer.
Tony Godzik is his agent, by the way, and also Roger Federer's agent, and he got here this morning from the US. So he's in the box.
Well, there's where you need to take a bit of a chance and get to that 2-hander and take a good whack at it. Instead of just trying to slice it, he's not going to win almost any exchange with Roger that way on a passing shot. But I did see Ken Rosewall. I was happy to. Speaking of slice backhand passing shots, in the walking around yesterday, which was awesome.
I was looking at a stat on him that I will share with you when we come back from this commercial break. Everybody, it's Roger Federer up on serve 2-1. Fucsovics serving. Martin Fucsovics, I mean, can you imagine what's going through his mind? I mean, he's out here. You cannot get a seat in this place. It is totally jammed, as it is for every Roger Federer match, apparently everywhere in the world that he plays. And here he is trying to get to a quarter-final here. Last 8 of a major. He's never even come close to being this strong in a tournament. Never won a tournament, even lower level.
The hundreds and hundreds of matches he ever played, if you added all the people that watched all those matches, wouldn't add up. It's like his prize money, the amount of people here right now.
So the total prize money for Martin Fucsovics from Hungary in his life has been 676. And remember, he is 25 years old. This tournament so far he's made 240,000. He'll make another 200 if he wins this match. challenge, and that is out.
Keep him going the rest of the year. Maybe be able to hire some additional people to maximize his potential, or at least a person. He's got some good firepower. He's a pretty strong kid.
40-15. Mr. Federer has
I played against Balázs Tarazzi, who was a top 20 Hungarian player back in the late 70s, early 80s. They have Andrea Temesvari was a top 20 player, woman. They haven't had a player that I can recall for a while.
Game. Fucsovics.
So Fucsovics.
Attilas, what was his name? I'll get it. There was. It's few and far between is the point in Hungary, but they do have a tennis tradition. They like the sport. I played there a couple of times, some exhibitions. They love tennis.
Budapest.
Buda and Pest, you know, is two separate cities, technically. One on one side of the river that separates them. So no one lives in Budapest. They live in Buda or Pest.
I mean, it's one of the strange things about the sport that you get a guy like Fucsovics, and he's doing so well here, and we'll look at him and we'll say, gee, where has this guy been? How come he hasn't done better? And then it may be a turning point in his career, or otherwise you may never see him again.
Is there another option? I saw the end of last year, after struggling for about 6 years, ranked well below, 150 and 200, 300, 400s. He's in the top 100. I finished last year at 87 in the world. So he's thinking, look, 85 in the world. And he's currently 80. With these points, he'll be about, even if he loses, 55, 60. So this is huge for him. Get him in some big Masters 1 series events.
That's exactly what that does. That 55-60 is an important number because you get into the Masters event straight and you don't have to qualify. Because some of them are just 64 draw. Most of them, actually. Easy hole for Roger. No breaks. No break points up to now. A pretty solid start from both players. They've been dominant on serve. Let's see whether that continues here with Martin Fucsovics, about to serve to Roger Federer as the number 2 seed here in Australia.
Notice that he had a good run in Davis Cup where he got Hungary back to the World Cup for the first time in many, many years. He beat, among others, Andrei Rublev in 5 sets, the up-and-comer from Russia. So signs in the last year that Fucsovics was going to make his way to the big leagues. And this is, for him, by far, biggest match he's probably will ever play. So he hopes he's out there for more than an hour and a half.
Well, so do I. Watch this is love 30. Here is an opening for Federer.
Black. First service.
Reality seems to be setting in now for Fucsovics. Off to a reasonably good start, but now in trouble.
Break points.
Federer's still moving so well at 36. I wonder how far back you'd have to go, Cliff, in his career that he wasn't moving as well. You know, was it 5, 8 years? Because to me, he's moving better than he has at least in 5 years.
No, I want to ask you about that. Is Federer of today a better player than, would he have beaten himself 12, 13, 14 years ago?
I don't know. In 2008, I think 5 and 8 when he won 3 each, I believe. I wouldn't say he's better than that, but he is better than he's been for 6, 8 years, I think. Certainly since 2012, which was the last Wimbledon he'd won until last year.
Both of them coming into the net too when they get a chance. I was going to ask you that question though, John, because you're, frankly, well, I'm not going to go there. But how would, the last time that you won a major, how would you have played against you when you won your first major, for example? Were you a better player?
I think I was better when I won my last one, for sure. But, you know, then again, I was 25 years old. The last one. He's 35 when he won this last year. That's a huge time in tennis.
Good break point.
For nobody you never heard of is that bad.
Now, and he's playing toe-to-toe with Roger.
Seems to be comfortable. Exchanging ground strokes. More than held his own so far.
3 in a row. Somebody shouted out something there that got the crowd's attention, but I didn't get it.
I think Federer serves better than it was, 6, 8 years ago. And I think his backhand is definitely better, and his volume is better than it was, back. Probably.
Well, there's not much left then.
Well, his movement, his belief, his fear factor, it's certainly there, but maybe not quite the same as it was at his peak.
Deuce, yeah, let me share something with you, John. Federer looking to win his 4th Grand Slam after his 30th birthday and join Rod Laver and Ken Rosewall at the top list with most Grand Slam titles won after 30. Victory here would also see him become the second man to win 3 Grand Slam titles after 35.
That Rosewall?
Yes, sir. It's amazing.
I actually think it's going to become more the norm as tennis moves forward. The guys and the people around them, their teams have figured out ways to maximize their potential, use their experience to their advantage later on. As being, you're not able to explode onto the scene nearly as easily as you did even 10 years ago.
Long game, big game. 2-3 chances for Federer at love 40. Did not take them. Now deuce.
Well, there's no question that his backhand's better than ever, as he exhibited on that return. Forehand still looks pretty good.
I was asking you about the depth of tennis in your era compared to this era, and I think it's a close call. It is not a close call going back to Rosewall's era. There is a lot more depth today than the 60s and 70s. A lot more.
More athletic players out there than ever. You have to be. The ball's being hit so much harder. It's coming back so much faster. Apparently, Fucsovics trained with Federer, you know, years back when he was the up-and-comer.
Advantage, Fucsovics.
Roger, I don't believe, has seen much of him recently, but knew of him and knew enough about him. Was interested to see how he'd advance when they play, see how much progress he'd made.
Game.
That's a nice job from Love 40.
Take a look at this little look back in Roger's history of the 2003 Wimbledon. Here he is with that backhand that was a signature part of his shot from the start, and then a huge cross-court forehand. This was the first major that he won.
The old ponytail then. That's when they got by set. There's Philippoussis in the final he got to. Short-lived. This was relatively easy for Federer, and this was 18 majors ago.
Congratulations, Roger Federer.
Very emotional then, and he still is. He's obviously matured a lot as a man, but physically, I mean, he's very similar. It's not like he's aged much.
Total up.
No, he's just God-given ability to move so gracefully around a tennis court has helped that body quite a bit. Crowd's already feeling like it's gotten more than they expected.
This is the kind of shot you might expect from Monsieur Barami.
Yeah, well, I saw it the other day, yeah. But the ball wasn't hit as hard to him.
Oh, my goodness. Just let me explain that Monsieur Barami plays a lot on the senior tour. He's been around a long time, and he's sort of the clown jester, I should say, of tennis. And you played a lot with him, John. In the
I have. We played as recently as 24 hours.
He's good value, isn't he?
Yeah. People love it. They keep asking him back.
Trick shot artist.
Game.
Federer holds it in. All right.
New ball, please.
Let's see. Fucsovics has been able to hold on to serve. Can he continue to do it? Wednesday night ESPN NBA doubleheader. State Farm presents this at 8 p.m. Eastern. Houston Rockets take on the Dallas Mavericks, and at 10 the Celtics and the LA Clippers. Coverage begins with NBA Countdown at 7 p.m. on Eastern. Both games, as usual, streaming live on the ESPN app. Melbourne, Australia is the city that hosts this first major of the year, everybody. And I will tell you that, as a little aside, it has got among the best restaurants on earth. I know, John, that you work it most nights, so you may not have had the opportunity to sample them.
No, I wish I had.
But I'll tell you, this is a great cuisine city.
Roger Federer, the
15.
Tom Brady of tennis, or Tom Brady's the Roger Federer of football, because this Brady guy just did it again. Federer's out there by himself. What they both do is superhuman. Somehow they got it done again. I wake up this morning and he does it again, Brady. And we wouldn't be surprised if Federer won this again.
All-time best quarterback?
I've got to say that, absolutely.
Thirty love. Fucsovics.
I went to Machu Picchu over the holidays with my family, like a bucket list thing. Who do I see in the Machu Picchu in the top of the mountain? You get one guess.
Tom Brady.
Close. Joe Montana. Tom was busy preparing for something.
30-15.
Speaking of an amazing quarterback.
Machu Picchu, South America, southern part of Chile.
Well, it's in Peru, actually.
Peru, excuse me.
Memorable.
Needless to say, it's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
But I haven't been there.
Oh! 40-15.
Not really happening yet for Federer, and this guy Fucsovics hanging around, doing his thing. Seems solid from baseline off both sides. Pretty good pop on the serve. Been willing to move forward. Doing a great job. There you go.
Then Fucsovics.
That's his second ace, and Roger hasn't had one yet.
4 games on.
Listed about 6'2", 180 is Fucsovics. So he's a little bit taller, a little bit heavier, appears to be a little stronger than Federer. See if he can use that to his advantage.
Stronger than Federer. I'm going to have to
15
mull
long.
that one over.
If they arm wrestled, okay? If they doesn't have the natural foot speed, doesn't have that spring, that first step quickness of Federer, even at this age. Seems to move pretty well, though. Sam Querrey would tell you he moved pretty well. He upset the American second round. I saw Tennis Sandgren in the locker room. He's our lone hope. He's about to just be heading out to the court against Dominic Thiem. About to start. Wish him well. Another guy like this Fucsovics guy. Where did he come from? Tennis. Sandgren.
Where did he? Indeed. That's the beauty of these majors. 128 draw. Come out of the woodwork. 5-4. Djokovic, number 14 seed. Young Chung is who he's going to take on. And he's out here waiting to get a little practice hit. The winner of that match takes on the winner of Thiem. And the man that you just talked about, Tennis Sandgren. And we'll see. What an opportunity for young Tennis.
You got Radek Stepanek there, who's been added onto the team recently after he was basically forced to retire. They couldn't get the back right. Preparing for a Davis Cup match last year down in Australia. The back went on him as they never came back.
Federer's had his chances. 3 break points in all, and all in the same game at love 40, but did not convert. And we're on serve at 4-5, love 15.
Supposedly his best shot is his backhand. He's been a bit predictable, Fucsovics there, preferring to take the great majority cross court. He's got to be able to mix it up. Pressure ramped up here right now, trying to hang in the set. That's 2 weak backhands.
Love 13.
Needs some first serves big time here. Saved a love 40 a couple service games ago. Now he's feeling it again. And this is going to allow Federer to attack this serve. Lucky to miss it.
15-13. Attention.
I don't know, that jumping back.
Exactly. But first time you hit it at 4 or 5-30 all.
Yeah.
I don't. Maybe wait, save that for like 45 up or 40 love.
Yeah. Okay. Set point.
That could be very costly.
Let. First service.
Say goodbye to this set.
Federer is the defending champion for a spot in the final 8. He has won the first set here on Labour. Roger Federer just won the first set, everybody. He is, for the record, 36 years old. He's taken on a gentleman who is 11 years his junior, Martin Fucsovics from Hungary, 25. Won the first set, had chances earlier in the set, finally converted at 5-4, then rolled through his own serve. He has not had a break point against his serve yet.
Well, unfortunately for Fucsovics, Federer will be even more relaxed. And I anticipate his level going up and reality setting in for the Hungarian. Going to be tough for him to even get to another 6-4 set. Called out, apparently.
Yeah.
Of course, it's 40 love, so it won't matter anyway.
Again.
I don't recall him once, Fucsovics, going up the line with that backhand. From what I've heard and what I saw, albeit briefly against Query, is a solid shot, but he's become too predictable, and Federer is just sort of going to take him to task here.
Johnny Mac, Roger Federer is one of the best movers in the top 10 in the world, or the best? Where does he?
I think Djokovic is the best. You know, I would say that he's certainly one of the best. You know, the top guys. You know, I would put Nadal.
Even at 36 years old. Huh?
Yeah, even at 36.
I agree with that.
I think he's an amazing. He's like Barishnikov.
See, I want you just to, at home, just to watch his feet for a couple of points. Just watch the way that he moves, the way that he split steps, gets ready to change direction. Watch. See that split step on the returner serve? Plants himself on the ground. Right there.
Dimitrov's movement helped him get through Kyrgios last night. His fitness. I mean, that's another key when you got to play these extended 5-set matches, best of 5. See, if he knows he's going to try to take that backhand cross court, he'll just sit on it and go to the open side.
15 all.
A really good point, this one. Clean winning forehand down the line. Makes it look easy.
$30-15.
Fucsovics was lucky there because Roger saw that coming, and 9 times out of 10 he'd make that. That was the one where he'd miss.
It was a gift.
Flat first service.
Watch Roger's feet.
The difference also between the greats, top players, and the guys that are 100 or below, these guys don't place their serves as well. You know, they're getting it in more than hitting their spots.
Flat first service.
I think some players think too much about the pace of the ball, how hard they're hitting, as opposed to where they're hitting it. I always,
40-15.
and I have to admit, it affected me negatively, looking at the radar gun, because you'd sort of want to ramp it up. You'd be seeing, you know, how hard you're hitting it, especially now in the seniors. But also, it was intimidating against a guy like Sampras. You know, when 19 will come out and, you know, he's I'm 107, 110, and he's 125.
So you're telling me that in the heat of battle, that what you're thinking about is the speed gun and how hard you're hitting the serve. Come on, please.
It wasn't the only thing.
I hope not.
No, but I mean, it's there, and it's hard not to look at it. I admit this. Truth has to come out.
15 loud.
You know, playing Ivan Izovich, you know, I'm 30 and he's 20, and I'm thinking, you know, this guy 135, you know, 106. You know, this isn't a good ratio here. Well, there's at one about 90 miles an hour. It works, see? So you can give the change up too. You just need to have the fastball. Look at how close to the net it was. How good an angle he got there. You'd like that overhead, right?
Again, Federer.
Has not been in any trouble on his serve yet today. Magnificent complex of tennis courts here, Melbourne Park, that hosts this first major of the year. Rod Laver Arena hosting this match between world's number 2 at the moment, but the holder of the title here in Melbourne, it is Roger Federer. Martin Fucsovics is serving, trailing 1-2 in a set.
Oh, that's a great point by Fucsovics. That's got to feel really good. Muscled them around, hung tough.
15
A little bit tricky here at net as he tried to finish this point off.
Buckley's.
That squash shot got over it, and he handled it well. They have Margaret Court Arena. They have this Rod Laver. They have, I think, Patrick Rafter in Brisbane, if I'm not mistaken. I think it is, but I could be wrong. What about Ken Rosewell?
There is, I think there is.
Is there a
What's this
Rosewell?
one in Sydney?
Is that Ken Rosewell?
Or Roy Emerson?
Should be.
I think Kenny has one. You have to check that.
Yeah.
30-15.
Oh,
Ken Rosewall Arena in
that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Is that where they play the Olympics? I think it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got to be more disciplined than that, though, in that approach. To me, you should take that with the two hands and rip it. But either way, you got to make that. Don't dump it in the middle of the net. Well, 30 love now. Looking shaky here at 30-40, a loose point at both 15-30, 30 all. And I'm surprised again that he's been unable or unwilling to take that backhand up the line, and it's starting to really catch up to him. Oh, that's not an easy shot to bowl off, even for Roger Federer.
2.
Tried to carve this. Open that racket up so you get that backspin.
Advantage. Federer.
Great chance here for Federer at 2-1. Needed just one break in the first set.
As great as he is offensively, he's almost as good defensively. He made an extremely difficult shot on that forehand. Looked to be and was in the driver's seat and missed another volley.
Lat. Fucsovics. Advantage. Fucsovics. Game. Fucsovics.
Federer definitely annoyed with himself. He didn't break there.
Yeah, he's had a couple of chances in this set. 6 overall. Just had that one break. Two-handed backhand versus one-handed. John, if you were teaching some, well, you have your own academy in New York. Do you have a general principle about?
I don't have a general principle. It would be a comfort level. But to me, I heard Roger talking on the court the other night. A two-hander would be easier, especially when you're younger. And you can hit off that back foot and not be as taken advantage of as on that high ball with the two-hander, which is the one I had the biggest problem with. Roger did for a lot of his career. That's why he switched to this bigger frame, which has really helped him. But the timing is even more critical. These guys slide now on hard courts, and they use, into the shot and then push off their back foot, which wasn't taught in your day or my day.
No, indeed not. I have another question for you. You brought up the big frame after this point. Federer 40-love. What about the importance of stringing your tennis racket with A, the right kind of strings, and B, the kind of tension? Because you were pretty loose in your day.
I was they're very loose now. I mean, these strings that they use as synthetic material is, you're rewarded for swinging harder. You have more control. That's why you see players swinging harder than ever. The ball dips, and they can control it more easily, which is the opposite when we play. Oh, that's just pie in your face shot right there.
No breaks in this set yet. 3-2 Federer, and he's up a set.
Yeah, this is when you feel like you are a journeyman. When a guy like Roger Federer seems to be toying with you. But look up at the scoreboard. You're in there, 6-4, 3-2. I tried these new strings, the polyester strings, because you see what the players do and how they're rewarded, and you get more spin. And I hit like 30 minutes, and my arm is killing me, my shoulder. And I see these guys. I asked the players in the locker room, like, do you have arm or elbow problem? They look at me like I'm crazy. No, we don't have any problems. But I do think it's a lot of the reason why people have like the Del Potros of the world,
have wrist problems.
Milos, you can go down the list of issues.
Looser strings does what?
With the looser strings.
Than tightly strung racket.
I mean, just think of the way the ball would come off the racket, more like a slingshot, more forgiving on your arm.
More power, though, or not?
Yep, that's nicely done there. I would think a little more power, you could that effect if you time it correctly. But but stiff strings, tightly strung. It was like Borg. He played with the gut. It was 80. I mean, it's hard to hit it as hard when it's so tightly strung. It doesn't come off the racket the same way.
But they say you have more control the tighter the string.
You have more control. To me, it'd be more control, less power.
30-15.
To most, I think. Fucsovics, 30-15, trailing a set and 2-3 on serve second set. Fucsovics is ranked number 80. ATP ranking. He is 25 years old from Hungary.
I think he's looking pretty good. He's more than holding his own. Does not appear to be overwhelmed.
Game. Fucsovics. New balls, please.
Not a whole lot of upside for Federer, other than that he's going to just advance in the tournament. I mean, he's playing some guy most people have never heard of. He's barely seen him play and just wants to get this over with.
In November, he and his girlfriend were vacationing in the Maldives. Martin posted a photo on Instagram showing a ring on his girlfriend's finger with an engagement ring on it. He wrote in Hungarian, she said yes.
Good timing. Maybe that's why he's relaxed and suddenly become a better player and reached the 4th round of a Grand Slam. Well, that's the one he's got to connect on more often. First time I've seen him try it. Try to get the timing on that one down.
That's why Fucsovics, as we said, is from Budapest in Hungary. He moved to Stuttgart, Germany when he was 16, and he has also trained in Nice when he was younger. Nice, France.
Fault allowed. Fault 15. Game. Federer.
No chances to break for Fucsovics yet. Not one. 4-3 Fed. There's so much to do around this stadium. I was thinking about it this morning. John, you can enjoy food, you can go out, the kids can play, and there are all sorts of stuff. Much more than, for example, Wimbledon. But it's still, I mean, a very special place to visit. But these grounds are, in some measure, fairgrounds. Now, it takes nothing away from the tennis. You know that. Not being critical, just is.
So many people that come down here, fans and players. It's a respite from the winter. Getaway. The government owns the land around here. They've allowed the grounds to expand.
They paid for a lot of the expansion too.
Exactly.
A good investment.
Yeah. Beats the hell out of Kuyong. They used to play this. Flies alone there would drive you crazy.
Kuyong is a private club. It's about a 10-minute drive from here. And it hosted, just like the Westside Tennis Club used to host the U.S. Open Championship. It hosted the Australian Open for years. Grass courts, pretty, well, they weren't that good. How do you put that nicely?
That's a nice way of putting it. They moved here in, I believe it was 1987, I think, 87, 88.
Then again, the grass courts at the Westside Tennis Club
They weren't very good either. The one year I played at the Westside Tennis Club, they had changed it to clay. They played on clay the U.S. Open for 3 years. Good move. That's well done. He should be pumped up. He's hanging in there.
30 all in this game. So you never played Forest Hills on grass?
Never.
You're just a baby.
Yeah. I wish I had, but unfortunately I had to play in clay. Although at that particular time, my best results were on clay in juniors. Look at this guy. Wonderful.
Super.
It's nice to see a guy that you don't know anything about playing this hard, this well, and able to make a match of this. He is really starting to hit the ball cleanly. In the zone at the moment. can he keep it up, or better question, how long? Now he's serving and volleying on second serves.
4 apiece. I want you to take a look at the. Freeze it right there. No, try and take it. Can we take it back a little bit? Take it back a little bit from there. Yeah, a little bit. Right there. At this point, I was sure he was going to drop shot this, and I think that Fucsovics thought the same thing. Okay, roll it, guys. Watch this. And now he hits it a little longer than what I had thought he was going to do there, and then the passing shot winner from Fucsovics.
A little longer than he would have wanted, because he did have him moving forward, and he probably would have been better going back to where he thought the drop shot was going to be. That would have been a tougher one to handle, but easy to be the backseat driver. Beautiful touch there.
15 loss.
He's not had as much success moving forward yet as he'd like. 15 out of 22, only 5 of 10 this set.
Watch Federer's dancing feet. Oh, man, he's beautiful to watch move.
15 all.
You said, is this guy going to be the start of something big, or you're never going to hear from him again? I played one guy in the second round of the Open
15.
in 1989. Never heard of the guy. Lost to him. Paul Harhouse was his name. Ended up being a #1 in the doubles in the world. Pretty embarrassing when you lose to a guy you never heard of, but somewhat comforting when he ends up being, pretty darn good player. Best known for that match with Connors when Connors reached the semis in '91. That was a quarters that he played him in.
It's a tournament your brother would rather forget.
Yeah, that's true.
Same reason. Elting and Harhouse, remember? Great team.
They're actually playing here. We've seen
Federer holds. Still no breaks against his serve. But he's only broken once so far.
Won't you let it be? Lord, I'm gonna make them see. Are you ready? Here it comes. Are you ready?
For me, anyway, here in Melbourne Park, definitely the most interesting question is Novak Djokovic is playing on Chung today. That's tonight, rather 3 a.m. Eastern time, where you are. Team and Sandgren also, last American left in the field. Halep and Osaka as well, Strickland and Pliskova, all still to come here at the Australian Open today.
This is where he's broken the last set, and where Federer's going to up the ante here.
What do you think, Djokovic?
I'm extremely interested to see how he comes up against Chung, who I think is going to be for sure a top 10 player, making some real progress. Is he ready for the big time yet? It's like Harhouse Connors.
Oh, come on!
Talking about getting your pants pulled down there. Wow. How did he lose that point?
And Federer is just 2 points from the set now. He didn't give any of them a lot of juice, and then that error on the volley. But there was some serious defensive genius from Federer.
15-13.
That's well done to recover. Get back in the mix in this game. Not out of trouble yet, but
13.
Especially after that low 15 point.
seems like his confidence has grown as this match has gone on. He's going for his shots more, putting a little more on them. Serve is looking bigger.
That's his fourth ace of the match.
That's a heck of a hold after having it low 15.
Especially given the situation, down a set and trying to just hang on in the second set. Good effort.
Well, you certainly can't blame him for wanting to enjoy every minute of this, because who knows if he'll ever be in this position again. But at the same time, he's earning a lot of respect. Tennis fans here and watching this.
He has got Roger's attention.
Thank you. Thank you.
He won all three of his matches in that Davis Cup tie that got him into the World Group, where they'll play Belgium.
15
And
love.
he had a great win against Rublev, because I'm telling you, Rublev's going to be a great player. He's seeded here. And then he beat Query. He's a great player. He'd have, seed and had the, Wimbledon semifinalist. And he came in with some credentials and confidence, and he's gone.
15 all.
And Federer does, for him, more edgy than normal. Hasn't clicked as well as we normally see.
Thirteen, 15.
First match Rogers played during the day here in the tournament, so perhaps
14-15.
that's a factor. And so there's like the B Federer right now. B Federer beats most people anyway.
Game. Federer.
Another easy hold for Roger, and he's got a 6-5 lead. Tie-break time? It's a question. Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Rod Laver Arena. Cliff Drysdale, John McEnroe here watching Roger Federer, the number 2 seed in the championship. He's trying to repeat as champ. And he's been tested, severely tested here in the second set. Taking on Martin Fucsovics.
Tough to back up and win an Australian again. Big ass for a guy 36, you would think.
15 long.
He's human. We're told he does bleed, Federer. So, what he's accomplishing now, let's not minimize
15
and
all.
appreciate it. Every time we see him step on the court, that's probably the best point he played in the entire match.
Five, 6, 15 all.
It's a nasty forehand by Federer.
Missed
Racket
it.
had speed. Just
He has a lot of wrist, doesn't he? It's like a
man.
whip.
wish I could hit one forehand like that in my life.
News for you. You didn't have the right grip for that.
I know. I was...
That's out of reach. It's 30 all. You would have liked to have your forehand volley, I'll tell you
Oh,
that.
it's pretty good. It looks pretty good. He's volleying better than ever. And
30 all.
Fucsovics is doing a good job at net. 8 for 11 in this set. 13 to 17 for the match. Surprisingly effective.
30 all. Big moment. Big.
That's why
Missed it.
30.
some angle by Federer.
Can it challenge it or not?
I would just to, take another look. It seemed to be pretty well wide. We'll take, see here.
No, it was out.
Yeah, it was out. But just give him a little time to
Set
get ready
point.
here. Yeah, set. I tell you, this guy's really digging in.
Isn't it a little slice thrown in there every so often, too? Keep things a little exciting. Very nice.
Advantage. Fucsovics.
What I saw when he beat Query was, he was out there just competing, but the heat was just so brutal. But now you look at him, you say, this guy's got some game.
Game point. Oh, wow. Where did that come from?
Take some fatigue and sort of just the moment, obviously. Like, am I really playing this good?
Only his fourth double fault in the match. Heads up.
What he's done better than anything is keep his composure as he sees Federer attacking the net and getting that ball low, not going for too much. A beautiful job.
Again,
Wow.
Fucsovics.
There have been 7 break point opportunities in this match. Federer owning every one of them.
Second set.
He's only
Tiebreak.
broken that one time. He in turn has had no break points against his serve. So the numbers would say that this is, you know, Federer's won 72 points versus 58.
Yet they're in a tie break.
Exactly.
It's a crapshoot.
Exactly.
That slice didn't have anything on it, and Federer really attacked it.
1-0. Federer.
That is too tough.
He's like, he belongs out there.
1-0.
I mean, he is playing by far his best tennis this last 20 minutes when he's really needed to. Stepped it up.
Way back. Wow. That's the kind of shot that opens a match, and in this case, a tiebreak up.
2-1. Federer.
You talked about the defense. It looked like Fucsovics had hit a winner, but he hung tough. He guessed right. A couple Hungarian fans.
3-1. Federer.
He split step, as you talked about earlier, Clint, but he actually leaned and moved a little early. Take a look here. He gets himself ready. Split steps, starts to lean that tiny bit to his left. Fucsovics, for the maybe one of the first times, went up the line.
Wow.
Who would have thought?
Here indeed, it's 3 apiece in the tiebreak.
This competitive out here on center court.
You called it exactly right, John. He was beginning to move on that passing shot just a little bit, because you pointed that hasn't gone down the line much, and you could see it. It was such a small move, but it was enough to give Fucsovics the chance there, and he took it.
Let Fucsovics.
Mini break back in the second set
Federer.
of this opportunity to get to the last 8 here in Australia. It is just after 5 p.m. in the afternoon, Monday afternoon in Melbourne.
Federer uses speed as anticipation to cut that off before it got below the net there.
3. Federer.
Saw the slice coming, and he sprinted forward. Excellent play.
Set points.
6-3. Federer.
Seen this a couple times watching Federer, huh? Last 15 years.
Mr. Federer is from the call. At the right force line, the ball is called in.
He doesn't often challenge, and you'll see. I mean, that wasn't even close, and he knew it.
Second serve.
Ouch. Number 2 seed up 2 sets to none. Looking for a spot in the final 8. Tiebreak to Federer in the second set, so he's up 2 sets to none.
Wait, please. Love.
Federer, seeing that Fucsovics playing better, there's no question, has picked up his intensity level. His commitment to end this in 3, got the job done in that tiebreaker. Used that drop shot to burn Fucsovics in the first point of this game. And looking to take over completely here.
15, third serve.
You made the point that Fucsovics definitely in that second set, latter stages, was beginning to get Federer's attention, and he did.
Yep.
Really hate the cliche about how the great players turn it on at the right times, but that is what happened in the tiebreak.
Third serve.
Do you suspect, or I do, that despite being down 2 sets to love, he's got to be loving every minute of this, Fucsovics, being in this position, competing against the all-time great Roger Federer.
No doubt.
So most of the time, players let down at this point, get discouraged.
Well, there are always two sides to that story, John, and it doesn't matter how he plays. It sort of depends on how Rog comes out in the third set, and
Absolutely.
I don't think he's going to wait for his chance. Raj is irritated with something. It looks like over here.
Advantage, Fucsovics.
He's picked up his intensity level, but the quality of that he's used to producing is not quite there.
Two.
I'm just wondering when reality will set in with this guy. That's not a good approach. He's not sliced, didn't have much on it.
Advantage.
You knew Federer was going to make him hit a tough volley. He did.
Federer's had 8 chances so far to break, and it's still just that one break in the first set. There's another one. First game, third set, so he's got 2 sets and a break.
First game.
Well, we got to get the pride. That's good. The pride are hungry. You see Andrea Temesvari reached 7 in the world.
And the guy at the bottom there was the finalist.
You know this guy? That's
Ispan Gulyash.
How do you get to the finals of the French?
You know, I have a historical question for
And then
you.
your highest rank is 128.
I have a historical...
Not a lot of points at the French.
Listen to me now.
All right.
He got to the final of the French in 1960.
Oh, you know this guy?
Yeah, this is a historical question.
All right.
He beat a guy with 2 hands. There weren't too many two-handed players in those days.
Cliff Drysdale? Oh, no.
That was a good one.
And he wore a glove. Speed Vanderway here. So what was the score in this historic?
I don't remember. I don't remember much about any of those matches, except that was my chance to get to the championship match in Paris at Roland Garros, and I blew it.
What round was it?
Semi-final.
Semis?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Not just a pretty face, John.
My goodness. He stopped playing at Fucsovics because he thought it was out, but guess what? It's called in, but he'll challenge, maybe get the call. It's close. It looks like it's on the line.
Yeah.
Skidded. Well, that's usually a sign it's in.
30 long.
Just an aside for the 60s. There were no computers in those days, John. There were no rankings. The only ranking was like from a guy from by the name of Lance Tingay.
The old journalist?
Yes. And he would come out with a ranking at the end of the year, and everybody pretty much said, okay, Lance Tingay knows what he's talking about, so we'll take his ranking.
So he put this guy at 120. He must have lost first round like the other 18 tournaments. If you get to the finals of the French.
Game, Federer. New balls, please.
Two-love lead and two-set lead.
Federer leads by 2 games to love.
Very surprised if this is not a routine third set now.
Good for Roger, too. He's not going to have to expend too much energy. He'll be on and off in 2 hours. He doesn't have to play a guy like Query who can, if he's serving big, can take the racket out of your hands. Sandgren with the early lead. The lone American.
15 long.
One break is served, 3 games to love against Dominic Thiem.
She looked good. Set up that excellent quarter. Kerber, Keys.
Top seed Simona Halep is also underway, 1 apiece with Naomi Osaka. Representing Japan, spent most of her years in the USA.
Thirteen, 15.
Tried that saber, that old attack to serve and take it, half volley the return. Didn't work.
Now, we haven't seen much of that attempted shot, John, and you have the sense that he tries that when he knows that you're toast, pretty much.
The only guy I've seen besides him is Kyrgios. And he does feel like he's toast when he tries it.
Game. Fucsovics.
Fucsovics on the board in the third set, but trailing 2 sets and a break. The beauty of the ESPN app here is that you can watch any one of these 3 matches that you choose to. Halep and Osaka. Let's check in on Margaret Court Arena. Pam and Chris here there. Pammy?
Okay, Cliffy, one of the stories of the tournament is Simona Halep and how she's still in this tournament, had a bad ankle sprain, Chrissy, first round, and then somehow survived a titanic 3-hour and 45-minute encounter the other day.
Yeah, that was an unbelievable match, the match of the tournament so far in the women's. And right now, we're looking at a 20-year-old Naomi Osaka, who is a Japanese up-and-coming player who's got all the power in the world. Will that be enough for her? We're also looking at Simona's ankle, and we're watching her movement closely, Pam.
Yeah, and that was the shot moving quickly to her right there on the forehand where she sprained her ankle early in the tournament, first round. So 2-1 early on Margaret Court Arena. Let's go over to Jason and Brad, who are watching some tennis.
Thanks, Pam. We're watching tennis. Sandgren trying to become the first American man to reach the quarterfinals here since Andy Roddick back in 2010. He's up against the 5th seed from Austria, Dominic Thiem. And Brad, he started very well.
What a start for tennis. A break right out of the gate. And Dominic Thiem actually making quite a few mistakes. And I'm very impressed with the composure from the young fella from Tennessee.
Yeah, so it's all good so far in this opening set. Back to you guys.
Thanks. Talk about opportunities, Sangren. Wow. What a special chance for him. 30-15. Make that 15-30 in this game. Federer serving up 2-1 in 2 sets.
Third shot. Fourteen, 13.
He's done a pretty good job for the most part with those short balls. He's played extremely well for the most part. He's kept it competitive, but that tiny letdown cost him the break in the third early.
Two.
You would assume that this would be cruise control for Federer. He's gotten careless this game. That's why this service game's a deuce. Remember, Fucsovics has yet to have a single break point in this match. Trying to get one here. Just one.
Fault.
How about just get to a break point?
That's what I'm saying. How's that for a second serve? He's so far off the court we couldn't even see him. I thought he'd left to go in the hallway.
Advantage, Federer.
An exceptional shot by Federer to pull out that game.
So he's got a 3-1 lead on Tuesday. Big 12 sonic blockbuster of a game on ESPN, everyone. Freshman sensation Trey Young in Oklahoma take on the Kansas Jayhawks. Also streaming live on the ESPN app. Young scored a career-high 48 points on Saturday. That 83-81 loss at Oklahoma State.
Either he's great or doesn't say a lot about much about his teammates. Get the others involved. There's that one passing shot in the tiebreak where Fucsovics executed that backhand up the line. There's Federer just nicely here, changing the pace, taking some air out of it. He tries to get offensive, but that's a tall order over that high part of the net. The 25-year-old looks to be the more winded right now, trying to hang in there the best he can. Federer looking to tack on just a little bit of insurance.
Fucsovics, I mean, this is a great opportunity for him, but he hasn't been in this situation. He's played 3 best-of-5 set matches here already at the Australian Open. But for the most part, this is kind of a debut for him. Got to that drop shot in time, but he just overcooked it by enough to lose him the point, and it's 15-30.
He's only played 2 U.S. Open, gotten in there through the qualifying, 1 Wimbledon, and this is the first Australian. All the other ones he lost in the qualifying.
Sandgren with a 4-1 lead over Dominic Thiem, the number 5 seed here.
If I'm correct, he's lost in 16 majors in the qualifying. I mean, that's quite a few.
Well, he's 25 years old.
Give him credit for hanging in there, but
he's not a chicken.
just about over now.
Game. Federer.
There's the second insurance break for Roger Federer. So last year's champion, that magnificent match, final match with Rafa Nadal, looks like he's going to advance. It's the Yarra River, everyone, and both sides of it, this magnificent city of Melbourne. It's truly, as I was talking earlier, a food lover's delight. I mean, you never, in all the years we were talking about Australia, food wasn't the first thing that you thought about, but things have changed here. The weather has been really terrific, other than those 2 days of extreme heat.
Does it rival the restaurants in New York or Paris? A couple, that's pretty tough, right? Maybe London.
Oh, no.
15 love.
I mean, the English and Australians had the reputation for pretty bland food over the generations, but that has changed, John.
Canada's used a lot of immigrants came to the countries, and the food quality's gotten much better. Dare I say that word?
30 love Federer, 4-1.
Oh, man. He makes the toughest shot look so easy, so routine. This is a fairly typical game for Federer on serve. He'd be over in a minute, but Fucsovics is stalling because he doesn't want to be one of those players that have to endure that type of service game from Roger.
Fucsovics has not had a break point in this match yet.
All 15.
Not often that he's even had deuce or 30 all.
Try to return the favor with Federer with his own drop shot. He doesn't have the feel. Federer burns him and ready to move to the quarters.
John, we're not there yet, but if it's Djokovic and Federer in the semi-finals here, Nadal is on his own of the big three. What do you think?
Well, I think that right now, because of just more uncertainty with Novak, even though generally, more recently, he's had Roger's number. If he's healthy, I would go with Djokovic, but I don't think he's 100%. So that's why I would have to go with Roger.
Roger took a break, forced break of 6 months, and Nadal also, to some extent, a break, and they came back firing on all cylinders and then some.
Well, he says he came back and said he was 100%. Novak's come back after 6 months and saying he's still not 100%. The elbow's still not right. And maybe he's just trying to put us on, and he's called the trainer yesterday with the hip. He's trying to stretch that out. Relies more on his movement than Roger.
Honestly, I think he's a very solid citizen, and I think he's...
Are you kidding?
No, I just don't think he's trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. I think he's as honest as he can be.
So if he isn't 100%, that's why I'd have to give Roger the edge. But if he is, we're in for a whale of a match. Interested to see what Chung comes up with in what appears to be about an hour and a half on this court.
Local time 5:30 in the afternoon, Monday afternoon. Game point to stay alive.
Game. Fucsovics.
Fucsovics holds, but Federer will serve for the match and a spot in the final 8 here in Melbourne when we come back. Roger Federer about to serve at 5-2. He broke the one time. There were no breaks to serve in the second. Went to a tie break, and Roger ran away with that one, losing just 3 points in the tie break. Now he has 2 breaks in the third.
$15 long.
I think he's going to take a look at this match and say, you know, maybe this is the one where it didn't really come together the way it normally does, but better against a guy that it was never in doubt. Save the best for when you really need it.
30-15.
Certainly done plenty of good things, and this guy's battled hard. Good athlete, you can see that. The newest pride of Hungary. Hopefully he'll get inspired from this effort. Don't often see Roger make a poor choice like that, but you know, when you're up 2 sets, 2 breaks, ain't gonna matter anyway. Ultimately. Seems distracted for him, you know. Most players would like to be this distracted, right? In 2 hours and get to the quarters for the, you know, 50th hour.
Match point.
Out. Please.
He always respects his opponents. He likes to see players in the locker room do well. And then he just puts his arms up and says, bad luck, boys.
Yeah, I like the way he acknowledges the crowd, too. I'm not into all this bowing and scraping stuff, and he's a class act, Roger Federer, and he has been the class act in this game for a long time, alongside Rafa Nadal, and joined by Novak Djokovic, Andy Murray, just a part of that picture. But he is certainly a man to be admired. And he's in, and so he's in the final 8.
Well, he's going to enjoy that moment the rest of his life.
Yeah, well done. It was good. It was a good effort. The second set was very competitive. Wait for Jim Courier, who is announcing here for Channel 7. He's going to have a chat with Roger Federer after that, and we're going to share it with you.
All right, Roger. Well, we talked after your last match that you'd never played Martin, but you guys had practiced together. It sure looked like he put you to a pretty good test, especially in the first couple of sets. What do you think of his performance today?
I thought he played very well. Look, it's fast conditions. You got to have quick ideas and execute well, and I thought he did that very well. I think being down to 2 sets to love is never easy. You might start making some mistakes eventually, but you know, I thought he was playing really clean, solid. bit of everything, serving, bowling, chipping. It was nice to see, and I had a hard time really breaking through until 2 sets to love and a break. That's when I started to feel, okay, now I got the win behind my back, and hopefully I can cruise to victory. But it was tough until then, and credit to him for playing a great tournament. That's what I told him at the net, and I wish him all the best for the rest of the year.
This is your 4th match of the tournament, but the first time you've played in daytime conditions. How does that change your preparation pre-match? Any racket strain? Do you go tighter, looser? Like any kind of significant changes, or is it just simply putting sunscreen on?
Considering maybe some sunglasses too, and and a towel for the beach, but no.
You're in a good mood today. This is going to be fun.
It's going to be fun, as usual, as usual. No, string the rackets maybe a tiny bit tighter, not that much. It's not that crazy hot, like, you know, when it's 38 degrees, you might go even harder strings just so you can control the ball more. That's always the idea. Other than that, you know, just set the alarm at a different time, and just try to get to bed at some stage, because playing at night, going to bed at 3 in the morning is a different rhythm than all of a sudden playing the daytime. So that's always a tricky part, but I was able to manage it and play a good match today, so I'm very happy.
Okay, so now you're done. It's almost 5:45. Now you'll have press conferences and massage and all this stuff, but you actually get a night off here. So is it like dinner and dancing with Mirka? What's the game plan for tonight?
Is that what you used to do when you played? You went dancing, didn't you?
Something like that.
Or for a swim. Well, you got to win for that. So that's got to wait. But no, what's the plan? Like you said, probably be busy until about 9 p.m. and we might go out for a nice dinner if she's in the mood. But she's left already, so she's got other plans.
Well, we're standing in Rod Laver Arena. This is a venue that's meant an awful lot to you. It's a man who means an awful lot to you, so much so that you named a competition that you were involved in, creating the Laver Cup after Rod. How was the first year? That event in Prague seemed very successful from what I saw on television. How was it for you being involved, not just as a player, but also is involved in the organization of the event?
I mean, a lot of fun, great honor, really, to honor the great man, Rod Laver himself. You did it here in Melbourne with this beautiful stadium, but having a competition named after him, I think that was something very special for us as an organization, but I think also for him. He was very touched, it seemed like, and it's not just about him, but it's also all the other great players that have, you know, led to this point that we can enjoy this kind of tennis today, and I thought it was very successful. I don't know how many people watched it, but we loved it as players, and now we're going to Chicago, which should be so much fun as well.
It's a different type of competition. You played Davis Cup with Stan, so you've been on the same team as some of the guys you're playing for these titles with, but this was something where you and Rafa were a part of the same team. You played doubles together, which we'd never seen before. How was that experience, because you guys have been on the opposite teams for so long?
Who saw it? Okay. Anyway, it was very special because we had talked about playing doubles 10 years ago maybe, and then it wasn't just quite a week. I didn't kind of feel it, and I was like, you know, we'll play down the road. Didn't know I was gonna make him wait for 10 years, but it was very much worthwhile. You know, just being on the same side of the court, like you said, with Rafa was very special. Just seeing his thought process. I mean, the champion mentality that he has and the intensity was very enjoyable, to be quite honest, and just seeing how he was trying to figure things out against a great other doubles team in Sam Querrey and Jack Sock. So it's great fun, but not just being on the same side of the net with him, but also with the other team members and Cilic and Team and Zverev, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some.
Well, now that you mention it, your next opponent is the person you forgot.
Well, there you go. Thomas Berdych was also on the team.